Hello, good morning. It is Tuesday the 21st of October and I've just been looking through my YouTube videos and I don't even know whether the one I hoped to uploaded. So I'll have to double check. I've been having a few technical issues and no, it's not due to Amazon being hacked or anything like that. It's just due to the fact that I'm no good with technology. Now, what I actually did, it was just over, not even 2-3 weeks ago, I actually videoed this wall because I could hear water dripping in the bathroom. And then the following day, tiles fell off. So this is after 3 weeks and the wall is still wet. There is this huge crack in the wall. I know I've took photos and I know I've put them online. This is all underneath the extractor fan, which has now been fixed. Was looking at my previous videos where I was talking about the shower, how I was talking about the fact that all of this plasticky paint has been coming off the walls due to the bathroom constantly being in a damp condition. And this is the wall. It goes literally right to the bottom where you can see there is the pipe from the toilet and again damp on the skirting board. And then it goes all the way underneath the window to here. And the reason why it kind of stops there is because if you look under the bath, if I'm careful enough to do it, the tiles here are actually screwed to the bath itself. And that's what it looks like under the bathtub. I'm actually surprised it's even got an earthing wire, but then because I paid somebody to put the bath in for me, I can see why it has. And let's just say they did the best they could with a bad situation. This is the pipe work. This piece here where it's black was where it had to be fixed, and they basically, instead of replacing the entire pipe, they put in a connection. So if that's leaking, then it's under the floor, it's in the bath, it's in the kitchen. So again, I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. But yeah, so this happened about 3 weeks ago. I did notify my landlord, and then literally the following week, he Section 21'd me. So I am now in a situation where I'm living in a property that is being poorly maintained and has not had the maintenance completed on it that was enforced, at least I believe it was enforced, by the Neaton and Bedworth Borough Council under the Environmental Health. And I've been Section 21'd, so now I'm in the situation of dealing with that too. But I just thought I'd do this quick video as I haven't done one for a while. And again, I'm doing them for myself, not just for the general public, to make you aware of the situations in private rented sector and how people are ill and badly treated, such as myself. But also, to make you aware of the risks of, having a house, whether you're renting it, buying it, restoring it, that is over 100 years old. Yes, you are going to get issues with the property, but there's even been issues like this with new builds because they've been poorly made and it's like they've come off a production line and they've just been built so quickly that, trust me, I've even lived in new builds and I did that for 4 years, and the amount of shit I had to deal with was an absolute joke. Because it was not up to building regulations, and that about killed me as well. So now I've been here 9 years, having water literally coming through the wall here. And I honestly thought, okay, I've got mental health, I'm hearing things, and I always kept getting asked this by my doctor. It's one of the things that apparently they test you to see whether you've got schizophrenia. Are you hearing voices? Are you hearing sounds that are unexplained? Are you hearing running water? And I'm like, well, I'm living in a house where everything leaks and, there's always running water. I'm living in a country where it rains almost every single day of the year. Of course I'm going to hear running water. I like having a bath. Of course I'm going to hear running water. But the fact is, I wasn't going mental or even more mentally ill, other than the stress that my landlord has put me under. I was genuinely hearing water in the walls. And this is the reason why. And the answer to your question is, sadly, no, the external problem still hasn't been rectified, despite me going through all of my emails, all of my text messages, and requesting the work to be done since 2003. I mean, if anyone asks, why have you not moved? I'm sick to death of answering that question. The answer to that purely is that now, in 2025, if you want to rent in the private sector, estate agents are telling people you've got to be earning $3,000 a month, because renting in the private sector is so high. Or if you don't earn that much, you need a guarantor that is earning anywhere between 30 to 40k a year. So you're looking at 35k. And I live in a town which at the moment is full of vape shops, Turkish barbers, and nail salons where half the staff don't even speak English, and phone shops, okay? Even my first job at Topper's Chip Shop closed and then got reopened again a few months back, and they're thriving. But a lot of the long-established family-run businesses in the heart of England, in Nuneaton and Bedworth, have closed, and that is what they've been replaced with. And I live in the UK and I don't speak Chinese. I'm not a nail technician. And I'm so as hell not going to be treated as a drug mule. Okay, no matter how desperate I am to find somewhere to live and take care of my children. And unfortunately, proving it is one thing. But yes, there have been companies in Nuneaton that have been busted, unfortunately, for illegal immigration, and having staff work for them that are not legally allowed to be in the UK. And lo and behold, it was the first thing that was on the news this morning when I woke up, how there's been people living in the UK illegally for over 20 years who have got cash hidden under their beds. And I'm thinking, where's my cash pile? But I guess that's what comes from being honest, or too honest. So this is what you end up with. Unfortunately, renting a house that is falling apart. You have no control over it. You jump through every single flaming poo hoop possible to try and support yourself and your family. And now the government are turning around and saying, including the local council, well, don't leave the property, go to court. By the way, you're going to have to pay. But if you leave the property, you've intentionally made yourself homeless. So good luck finding a cardboard box over Christmas. I'm sure there'll be plenty in people's bins, because we're not going to house you. And they did the exact same thing to me back in 2013. Luckily, back then, I only had myself to care for, so we won't go into that. But now I have 3 children to support. And like most families, unfortunately, it doesn't matter how much you work, it doesn't matter how hard you work, there is always going to, and even if you don't have a family, every person that I know in the UK or know of in the UK, it doesn't matter how hard you work, if something happens to you that is unforeseen, just like with COVID, people cannot always cover every eventuality. And I did not expect to be renting a house to hear water dripping through the walls and have the tiles fall off right next to the toilet. So I'm just going to hang in there, and I'll keep posting when I can. And, and if you are being ill-treated or having the similar or same problems, please share this information. Do not suffer in silence, because the more the government know about it, hopefully then the more they will do about it. But all that landlords are doing at the moment, so if you are in the private rented sector, please be aware that they are deliberately trying to get rid of people under no-fault evictions, which is Section 21, so that they don't have to abide by any new rules and regulations that are coming in over the next couple of years. I can't tell you what those rules and regulations are or what they're likely to be, but for further information, the best websites that I would recommend you go to are going to be the Citizens Advice website and Shelter, and they are both charity run. Okay, and ran by volunteers mostly. I'm not saying they don't have top executives, who may be earning 40k a year, so maybe they are able to afford to rent somewhere better, or they own their own home. But they are the places to go to. So that is Citizens Advice and Shelter. And from further information, obviously, go to your local council. But the likelihood is, unfortunately, they offer you very little or no support. So enjoy your day, be safe, be well, feel free to post, but again, anything abusive or aggressive towards myself or others. I know I've said a few things on this video that may come across that way. Then I apologise. But at this moment in time, the proof in the pudding's in the eating, and you literally only have to walk down the street where I live to see how many Turkish barbers there are and nail salons. And not a single, if you want to get all PC, not a single white person is working in any of them. Okay, so when they keep going on about equal opportunities and, human rights and fairness in the workplace, etc., in a lot of these places, that isn't even the case. So, it is really, really hard at the moment for everybody, and the only thing I can say is try and take care of yourself first, because if you can't do that, unfortunately, you're not going to be able to do that for anyone else. And then if you can support other people, like your family and your friends, extend that olive branch to them. Because believe me, the way I'm feeling at the moment is any help, support or guidance, again, I can be given. I am more than happy to try and grab it with both hands, because it's not just myself I need to take care of. It's my children too. So thank you very much, and take care of you.